position most likely. In terms of the buyers as well, though, just investing actually a little bit into Windansky as he's going to go for the economy, the utility even, so he has something to play with there. The rest of them just going to opt to go for the buy up around the armor. Smart stuff, it's just fairly standard. And then over on Xenex, 4 kits of armor, and you do have the 1 kit on JT. 2 flashbangs to play with as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So a teeny bit of utility for either side, but nothing too crazy. And generally, a fairly standard pistol and armor start across the board. But curious to see how this one is going to pan out. Let's remember, this is the first game for these guys. So obviously they've been in the warm-up for a little while, but they've not been playing too much. They're not going to be fully warmed up just yet. So we'll see who's going to be quickest to get on the scoreboard. Who's going to be the ones that are getting those crisp shots right from the start of the game. I mean, there's only one way to find out. It's going to be Keita and Windansky pushing up mid here, looking to gain a little bit of map control. Smoke comes out and immediately they start to charge over towards this B site. We've got teammates coming in, but Shaney's found one already, and Shiki is going to be traded for that. Brody cannot land any of his shots from that box, and that means that the B site is forfeit for Xenex right now.
Yeah, it was a really nice angle there from Shaney, so he actually could peek over the top of the smoke. He sees them, he's got that information. Fortunately, they weren't able to hold it from the inside of the site, but they definitely should be able to achieve something on the retake here. Pickles has to clear his angles though as he comes through. Webb with a nice little spot here as he tries to go on the frag, but Pickles is going to best him, takes him down with that USP. Shaney chimes in one as well onto Max, and it falls down to just a 2 versus 3 now. Sliggy tapping away. You can see him just trying to hold his composure as he needs to find these frags, but meanwhile Keita is doing a hell of a job, taking down everyone in front of him. Sliggy will eventually be able to take down Pickles, and Fish get that first pistol round. Down to the wire stuff there though.
Yeah, while Sliggy was trying to get that single kill, Keita just basically went James Bond and finished off the rest of the bomb site. But in the end, Sliggy and Keita are in that kind of nice little scenario, both of them with 2 kills apiece, and that means that they're going to be able to buy up a fair amount. And look at the buy coming through. This is a convincing set of weaponry for Fish123. 3 rifles, which, you know, there's potential for that to be risky when you're up against these pistols. If you lose those weapons, it can be disastrous, but I don't think that's a scenario that these guys are going to allow to come across today.
No, this is smart stuff. Obviously, just playing off the back of the range, you know you can utilise these weapons from a distance, just shut down your opponent. Xenex, they don't really have much of an answer to it with these pistols. It's just going to be a clean and easy round. So, smart from Fish, no reason to go overly aggressive. Just play back, wait for the push to come to you.
Yeah, absolutely, and here we go, moving on into the 3rd round of the game. Obviously, nothing going to come out from Xenex here. Maybe a couple of upgraded pistols, but realistically, they're just looking to wait for this 4th round. That's going to be the big rifle round, and this should be, in theory, a very easy pick-off for Fish123. They should be able to turn this into the 3rd and move on into that all-important rifle round. But interesting the amount of utility that was actually bought by Fish123 despite going against a full eco.
Yeah, I mean, you can invest quite heavily into it. Obviously, if you want to play off the back of distance, it does work out too well. This should have been a fairly easy round for them, as Xenex skimping heavily across the board. Anyone with any weapon right now is going to be Shaney. Scavenge that Galil that was dropped by Mighty Max. They're actually doing fairly efficient work as they pick them down. Fish123 left to 3 members. They are on that B-bomb site. They're going to be able to get these after plants on lockdown. Xenex really shouldn't be able to mount too much of a retake, but still, any economy damage you can do to Fish right now is going to help you out in the long run.
Yeah, and they've managed to get 2 3 versus 3, but the rifles are starting to get picked up as well. Brody almost finding his 2nd kill of the round, but Windansky will shut him down in the end with the Galil. And now that Galil coming into play from Shaney. He's in a 2 versus 1, but the health bars are low. It's not enough though. Windansky finishes him off, finishes the round off as well. Fish123 can certainly count just like in their name, and they've got that 3rd round on the board. But now it starts to actually heat up. Now we actually see some proper counter-strike because we've got the full buy coming in for both of these teams. To be honest, not the most ideal buy I've ever seen from Xenex. They're missing helmets. There's not everyone with full grenades here, so not perfect, but it's certainly better than they have had. Shaney doesn't care though.
Yeah, Shaney, a nice little shot to kick that one off. Spicy stuff as he peeks out towards long. Instantly eliminates Keita and just leaves Fish with 4 members. Sliggy as well, knocked down to 36 HP. That's not a great way to start us off. You look at the push they're going for as well as they take lower control, work their way around, trying to get that frag on towards Max. Unfortunately, couldn't quite do it. Max going to get a double kill as well before he's picked off by Shiki at top mid. Fantastic play coming out from Max right there.
Absolutely. Shiki has been found out there, but should be able to get away with his life as he just skirts away to the rest of his team. Although I say that, the rest of his team is miles and miles at the other side of the map, so he could be stuck in a very long rotation here if he's not too careful, and we'll see whether the push is going to come out from Fish123 or if they want to buy a little more time for themselves. They've still got a minute on the clock, so They're not in any kind of rush just yet, but that will tick down very, very quickly, and they'll have to start to commit to one of these pushes. And it looks like, you know, the A long site is very likely to be their decision.
Yeah, and they're going to try and make their way up. Sliggy does best. Shaney caught him out as he was just boosted on top. Just sitting by pit. Finds that initial frag. They can push on towards the site now. Just going to take some time to clear the angles, double check everything is clear, but they can get the bomb planted. JT is close by, just goes for a couple of pot shots. This could be possible for a 2 versus 3 retake, but they need to find those initial frags. Sliggy as well towards long. He's quite low, but he does have that AWP, and it can be such a damaging weapon if you can find your opponent. Will land the frag on towards Shiki, and it all falls on towards JT.
Yeah, JT had a lot to pull off on that round, and Weber is more than happy to shut him down and take the round for Fish123. Bad news for Xenex. It means there's a 4th one on the board now. Fish123. I don't want to speak too soon, but this is a little bit reminiscent of what we saw in the first map yesterday for Xenex, but fingers crossed that won't be the case for very long as a Deagle bite comes on through here, as well as 2 P250s.
Ooh, unfortunate as well. Windansky, playing off the back of the spawn there, was dropped the AWP by Sliggy, so he could try and go for that first pick towards long. Did catch them off, but didn't quite land the shot. They do have the information there's a bit more of a stack towards long, though. Weber also just going to be hammering in. Takes down Shiki from top mid, just tapping away.
Certainly is. Pistols not really doing as much as they were hoping for here. JT being bullied away towards CT spawn. He's going to still try and take that fight and actually almost wins it. Windansky narrowly escaping with his life. But Weber and Mighty Max starting to shut down players left, right and centre as JT is going to peek for this one. He's trying to just find those headshots and he will finally get a reward for his hard work. And he's looking for Mighty Max, but that headshot is going to be difficult to hit. JT doesn't care though. And despite being on just 13 HP, he's managed to best 2 players and grab himself an AK.
That's a great way for things to go so far. There is a little bit of possibility left. They can try and get a frag. I mean, most likely JT, if he wants to just get away with that AK, that'd be the best case scenario. But Pickles, he can go in and try and do a little bit of damage. Won't really work out. Sliggy had the angle covered and we'll be able to pick him off. Now, this is a thing as well. I expected to see this coming out. This is what I was touching earlier, where I said we might see Keita picking up the secondary AWP. Sliggy, I assumed, was going to be the man trying to get that out when possible. And I've been on the receiving end of this a few times at LAN events. It's not the best. When he just sits in T-spawn, you just have to deal with a Sliggy. Can't get rid of him, Joe. It's a nuisance. It's an infestation. So we're going to see a lot of that. Rather than actually going for those more aggressive picks, it will just be a little bit of sort of slower default play from Sliggy, I'd imagine, with the AWP, whilst the rest of his team's trying to create those first faces, trying to draw the opponents to him. It looks quite good so far, though. Obviously, 5 rounds racked up on the trot. Fish, quite dominant.
Yeah, and look at this buy from Xenex. This is confident right now. Double AWP coming on through, and they're really looking to contest. And, you know, you mentioned how Sliggy can be that kind of force to be reckoned with. And as you say that, Shiki actually getting tagged through the door by Sliggy. But against the double AWP, you know, he might actually have a hard time in these long-range aim battles.
That's the thing, though. With that double AWP setup, you do have the potential to try and find those frags. And Sliggy as well is going to get caught off guard by one of them, Shiki, proving to be a little bit quicker than him as he picks him off towards top mid. That's a great way to kick it off as well. They now lose a little bit of their utility here in terms of their capability to actually get those opening frags from long range. You can't try and, you know, worm your way out as long as easily because you know Shaney's on site. You know he's been playing there with the AWP. Sliggy was the one that had to try and find that frag. It gets a whole lot harder. Keita does have an AWP in his hands now, though. He's been able to grab that out. It just depends if he can do Sliggy's job here. He needs to get that initial frag. Keita definitely someone that is proficient with a weapon. It just depends on the timing, Joe.
Certainly doesn't. Here we go. They're peeking on round. I think that was a tag through the box as well. That's a couple of tags we've seen out from the Fish123 side in this round, and a little bit unfortunate, but it was Keita with that one. Mighty Max finishes off the kill in the end, though, as JT can't quite connect the shots onto Windansky. It's going to mean that the bomb is finally down. 4 versus 4, though. This is still all to play for both of the teams in this round. And Xenex, I like the positioning here, where they've kind of just said, you know what, you can have the site. They've backed away, regrouped, and now they're going to go for a retake as a team.
It's always the best case scenario. As long as you can keep the numbers, you can attempt to go for the retake later on to the round. But if there's a Weber waiting on the other end, it's going to be quite a hard time. He does come in, gets that initial frag. Mighty Max unfortunately falls, but Windansky keeps it going for the T side. Weber comes back in for a second, wants the hat trick, and he's going to be able to claim it. 3 nice little headshots there.
Yeah, really good stuff from Weber, and that's pretty much what we expect from that man. 6-0 is the score now. This is starting to get out of hand for Xenex. They need to pull something together. They've got enough to maybe force up, but it looks like they're just going for upgraded pistols once more. JT has a full rack of grenades, but he was on 7,000 at the start of this round. He's a little bit further ahead of the rest of his team. Pickles starting things off right, though, using that deagle to great effect and evening up the scoreboard.
Yeah, nice way to kick it off. You take out Sliggy straight away. Unfortunately, they did get the trade back, but it's a best case scenario when obviously you're in that bit of an eco. Windansky wants to try and find these frags as well. Will take down Shaney as he just caught a little glimmer of him as he pushes one to the site. Nice little pizzazz added onto that frag as well as he went for the spin. Turns it into the hat-trick. Windansky on fire right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brody just running for the hills. Windansky making his mark on this round and deciding that this is one that they're going to have for free. Thank you very much. Brody is going to have a little bit of an argument about it. 5-7 coming into play, but Weber is more than happy to finish things off. He grabs a second one for himself, and he also grabs an AWP for Sliggy, so he's going to be happily moving on into this round. And in fact, Keita grabs one as well. So this weaponry starting to stack up for Fish123. We've got to buy once more for Xenex. This is a round that they can contest, but we'll see if they've got what it takes this time, because they are 0-7 right now. This is terrible news for the Xenex squad.
Oh, Windansky, what a juicy way to kick off the round though, as he just peeks out towards long, takes down Pickle. Sliggy finds one as well, and Mighty Max keeping this pain train rolling. JT is on the scene, and he is battering them down. Comes in with 2 huge frags to equalise the situation, and when Shiki's on the other side of the map as well, besting Sliggy, it's not a great spot. All falls on Keita now, and 1 versus 2. He has so much utility, so much time, and an AWP in his hands. But still, he's got to attempt to try and find these frags. He wants to try and get in towards that B bomb site. Shiki is there, but currently focusing towards mid.
I'm curious to see what Keita is going to be able to do in this situation. You know, in previous seasons, Keita has been a big player when it comes to using that AWP, and he has the sniper in hand. But we'll see whether he can kind of live up to that, whether he's still got that sense of style in his play, I suppose, and the ability to go for these 2v1s, to go for these clutches. The AWP is certainly the weapon to do it with, as JT going to be sneaking on up towards him right now. He's looking the wrong way though. JT is about to peek windows, and he will get shut down by Keita, who probably knows that the last player is over towards the tunnels and is going to be hiding, but the site fight is going to go underway. The both of them going for no scopes, and I don't think they're going to find him though. 1 versus 1 here, and Keita's been pushed off site, but it doesn't matter too much. He's going to go in with the Tech 9 and finish off that kill. Shiki goes down, and Keita gets the 1v2.
Wow, a really interesting round. It was good there as well, because that's the thing. In that sort of situation where it's a 1 versus 2, you need to try and get one of the frags to equalise. So he went for the push on towards window, gets JT, but because of the Molotov and the smoke, he was kind of questioning if he should try and push out, just in case there was someone else there. But yeah, it was so good that actually he did push out through the smoke, or else he would have been completely owned when Shiki came in from tons. But nice play coming out from Keita, going to be able to pick up the round. Wants to find the initial frag here as well to kick this one off. I thought that was actually going to be the kill there, but unfortunately can't quite do it. Doesn't matter, he gets it anyway. And they get a nice little healthy lead already into round number 9. Yeah,
not 100% sure what happened with that second shot, but there is sometimes a little bit of delay when it comes to GoTV, so it might have just been a bit of that going on. But Pickles using that deagle, trying to find a couple of shots onto Weber, but unfortunately unable to connect anything. And Pickles yesterday was one of these players that really stepped up for Xenex, and apparently he's living up to that today as he finds one with the deagle. I'm curious as to whether he can turn that into anything more here. Pickle's currently not the top fragger for Xenex, but then again, nobody's really doing fantastically in terms of fragging for Xenex. They've really had a struggle starting off in this game.
They do have the utility to work with here though on Fish. They can smoke over, make their way out on towards the bomb site. And it's going to be hard for Xenex. Obviously, with just those deagles, you can use them from range, but it's hard to land those frags. But Shaney coming in, being oh so patient as he lands that beautiful one-tap on towards Keita. And a follow-up frag on towards Max as well. Windansky needs to punish him now, or else this could get horrific. Shoots at his own teammate before he's able to flick round and get the frag. That could have gone oh so wrong.
It certainly could, and he ended up going down to 12 HP for it as well, so this is bad news. Sliggy going to push on through with the AK though, and Pickles suddenly the last man remaining, 19 HP. Sliggy will happily finish him off with that rifle, and that means there's 9 rounds now in the bag for Fish123. They're starting to run away with this one. Shaney doing his very best here. He's on double anyone else on his team's score. and he had a stellar little performance in that round with the P250 getting some long-range taps, but unfortunately it's not enough to net them the round. However, with the amount of loss bonus they've had, they can pretty much go for a 4-buy every other round at this stage.
Shaney. Just watching right now from the B-bomb site, hoping that someone is going to go for that aggressive face, try and take the fight towards B, or at least just sniff for information. Sliggy will be the man to do so, but he doesn't need to do it just yet. Most likely this is going to be that mid-to-B play a little bit later on into the round. They're just waiting to see if there's going to be any peaks, or if they want to, they could try and take it up short later if they can find those initial frags. Obviously, everyone's just holding their ground right now, though, just playing it out as a default, hoping Xenex will get a bit overconfident and potentially push into the trap.
Well, they're playing it super slow right now. Shaney watching out and will be the one to take the head off of Sliggy. And that is a nice little opener for Xenex. But we've seen this happen earlier on in the game and it wasn't enough to get the round. We'll see if they can actually convert this here. Windansky is going to be dropped as well by Brody. And now Mighty Max arriving on the scene towards this B site. He's looking for an opportunity to maybe have a peek, maybe look for a headshot, but Shaney is going to be laying in wait for that peek. He knows that people are around that kind of area. There has been communication between their team. In fact, with the smoke going down, it's going to be very difficult. He's going to be hoping for a lucky shot, and he finds one, tags down Keita. It's not quite enough, but with Shiki coming in from the side, there's another little kill coming on through. Keita does finally answer, though. Takes out Shaney. Brody just waiting for the smoke to clear. Should be able to finish this round off if he can just land the shots. Keita gets him, though, but will get shut down by Shiki.
Yeah, an awkward round, unfortunate. Smart play as well, though, coming out from Shiki when he went for the flank. Got that first frag, but then fell back. So good restraint on display from Xenex. Played it out well, and they do get their first round on the board. Obviously, the only scary factor is Fish123, they have so much of a bank, they can buy up into this one. And then it's the ideology that if Xenex don't actually win this, they're going to be completely reset, left in an even more horrific spot. So now you've done the hard part, you need to keep the ball rolling. You can't let it slip here. And Keita, seeming like he wants to try and take the fight towards long. If he gets the information, that'd be good. They've stats quite heavy, deep towards long. It seems like they might try and go for the push as well. Shiki just playing close by doors, but he does opt to back off.
Yeah, wanting to play this one safe. I mean, Xenex, they finally got that round on the board. They finally found themselves something. But, you know, when you've had that loss bonus for quite a while, and you've not really been able to stack up any cash for yourself, if you lose that again, if you get reset, that is going to be just so painful. Fish123, they have bank. They have a little bit of money to fall back on. Windansky still 9,000. I mean, they're not rich. They have had to just go for a full rebuy, but they're still doing okay for themselves. If they win this round, they pretty much could just dominate this entire first half. They already pretty much have. They'll just be finishing things off. But Xenex now waiting for the loving embrace of Fish123 as the push is finally going to be coming on in. 40 seconds on the clock. And therefore, they're going to have to go for this attack. Brody just waiting on this B site, and he knows that the players are coming on in. He's found a nice little angle. Neither of them looking, but Weber will shut him down regardless, surviving on 1 HP. And Windansky, with a nice little spot, is going to stop the roam. Finds one headshot, can't convert it into two. Shiki shuts him down, and it's a 2v3.
Yeah, good positional play there from Windansky, actually being able to cut off the rotate. If he would have tried to wait a little bit longer, could have got 2 frags. Keita somehow gets that flick on towards Pickles. He should have been dead, but he just snaps back round and takes him down. So Shiki left in a 1 versus 3 now. Keita is low. Weber left on a measly 1 HP. There is a possibility, but it's going to be so very hard for them. And we'll find the first frag, but Sliggy fires back. The wallbang headshot comes out to punish Shiki, and Fish123 instantly switch back into the action. Xenex now crumbling in terms of economy.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Xenex are doing better for economy than I would have expected them to be doing in that situation. They'd obviously managed to save a little bit, but again, forced into one of these weird, awkward buys, and they've gone for a buy where it's going to even up their team money just a little bit. Got a Mag 7, got a Famis in the hands of Shaney, so maybe they can make something happen with this round, you know, at least damage the economy of Fish123. But looking for a win here on this round is going to be very, very challenging unless one of their players can just pull out something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Obviously, that Mag 7 on Shiki, though, playing from this close angle, could potentially find a little bit of a, if not a frag, at least put the fear of God into someone at this point. As they try and push in, he could definitely do a lot of damage. Windansky is there, even from range, knocks him down to 33 HP.
Yeah, but Shiki has been tagged as well. He took a lot of damage in that exchange also, so can't be too aggressive at this point. He pretty much has to wait for them to push onto him. But actually, I say that, he's going to be pushing up towards tunnels, and Mighty Max is going to be looking that way, and will quite happily finish him off. So unfortunate there for Shiki, and the Mag 7 is going to be dropped. Pickles pushing on along there, but does manage to get the shot onto Keita, who was waiting down in Longhouse. Here we go, JT just waiting very patiently. He's going to be looking for their headshot, but neither of the players going to push on in. They go into tunnels, and JT is going to follow them. But Weber is there, waiting for that roam, and will shut him down.
Yeah, nice. Going to be able to cut off that leg there. Brody as well. Close spot with the B1 site. Juicy frag comes out and takes down Mighty Max, but unfortunately, it's very short-lived as he gets picked off, and then Shaney falls as well. Comes down to Pickles. He's been looking on point. He was yesterday, at least. Now 6 frags on the board so far in this first half. Is this going to be the Pickles we expected to see? Is he going to shine a little bit here? A 1 versus 3 doesn't really need to go for this. Most likely we'll just back off and hold on to that AK. If they went overly aggressive, could find some exit frags, but best case scenario is you hold on to that weapon. You don't have to buy out 5 rebuys, you just have to do 4.
Absolutely, and Pickles is going to just back away and hold on to the AK. To be honest, despite the scoreline, I feel like this is a scenario where Fish123, what they need to be looking to improve in this game right now is how tidy these rounds are, how good their team play is. Because despite the fact that they're winning these rounds consistently, they're losing at least 2 players just about every single round. And you know, we were talking about economy a couple of rounds ago and how Fish123, despite the fact they were going for that reset, they'd only gone for 1 rebuy. They weren't actually in that great of a situation financially. You can see there, just about every round surviving with 3 or 2 players, but it does mean that they're in this situation where they've only ever been able to go for 1 full rebuy. Unfortunately for Xenex, there's been absolutely no punishment of that fact, but... Ooh, what? What just happened from Keita there? But yeah, if Xenex could pull themselves together a little bit, then it could be a dangerous scenario for Fish. However, 11-1 is the score, so I don't think Fish are too worried at this point.
Shiki playing from ramp, wanted to try and get that frag, but Weber is going to punish him. JT as well, knocked down to just 2 HP, just scrambling for his life as he sprints away, but that bomb's like completely under T-side control, and Weber is still punishing them as they peek. Falls on Brody and JT. I mean, once again, they need to just try and hold on to these weapons. They can't do anything here. Brody actually gets a frag on towards Windansky, so he basically gets that one for free, but that's more than enough at that point.
Yeah, and with 2 players remaining, Brody and JT, they're not going to be able to get this round, but they are going to be able to hold on to those weapons. And Brody, as you said, getting that nice little frag at the end is going to be kind of a silver lining on this round for Xenex. At least they've managed to do something, do a little bit of economic damage to Fish123. But that rebuy will definitely be available for Fish. Both of the players do survive. Neither of the weapons are going to be lost here for Xenex, so at least they've got a couple of rifles. But when you look at the rest of the team's money, it is a sorry, sorry sight. There's not really going to be any backup for these 2 rifles. Oh, I say that actually, going for a full force buy.
Yeah, going to invest everything into this, obviously, here in round 14, just try and pump all the money into it. Is it going to work out? It's going to be hard. Sliggy, he's going to be punished him early as well. Doesn't want him to have any breathing room. Just absolutely obliterating Shiki. Falls into 4 more members of the side of Xenex. JT has to try and hold back short, but it's already been claimed. Weber comes out, takes it as his own territory as he lands one right between the eyes of JT. All of a sudden, there's just 3 members left on Xenex.
And, you know, this is a pretty dire situation. Weber finds yet another one. And Fish are staring down round 14, and they're looking to stick it in their backpack right now. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot these 2 Xenex players can do about it, and the M4 and the CZ, not going to be enough. Windansky finds another headshot for himself, and Brody, once more, going to have to try and escape with this M4. It's exactly the same situation we saw last round, but this time Sliggy is on the ball and will be able to shut him down, take that weapon out of his cold, dead hands. And now the final round of the half. This is looking even more dominant than the first game of yesterday.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, this is kind of what I was talking about when I said I thought this would have been Fish's map pick, because it's Dust 2, and it's just mental that, you know, Xenex would have gone for this as well, especially with the fact when it is a roster like this with Fish. And you can see that coming into effect, especially when they get that T-side start where they can just set the pace of the game. So Xenex, unfortunately for them, they need to bounce back, if anything, but they don't really have much of a buffer, and this could be that buffer completely eliminated if Fish go free with 14 rounds on the board here in this first half. And it's looking like they're going to be able to do so. Keita claims one frag on towards Shane. He can't quite connect the second on towards Brody, but it is still a 4 versus 2 at this point as Weber takes down JT.
And this certainly says something to me about the Fish123 lineup that we've got here. Obviously, this is the Connorless squad, if you will. We've got Windansky stepping into those shoes, and he's going to be that substitute for them, but it doesn't seem to have affected them today in anywhere near the same capacity it affected them yesterday. Another trade, 1-for-1 going on at the bottom of mid there, but Brody all on his own. Just a Famas to talk about. He is against 2 players, but Weber's down to 10 HP. Maybe he can't make this happen. I was about to try and spin a Cinderella story there, but Weber, he's got no time for games, and he's going to shut down his opponent 1-14. What a half from Fish123. Already just 2 rounds away from taking this first map.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, this is the thing. They have no buffer. They have nothing to play with. This is what we saw in Cobblestone when they played against Hines. They just weren't able to scavenge enough rounds. So now when we get into this point, if Fish pick up the pistol, the game's over.
Yeah, they certainly... Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. Unless we see some kind of miracle force buy in the second round that somehow takes out the SMGs, it's definitely going to be pretty much impossible for Xenex if Fish win the pistol. But we saw some pretty ridiculous comebacks yesterday as well. We saw in that FM versus Viral game, it was some pretty ridiculous scorelines in first halves, followed by, you know, that same thing the other way around. I think it was 11-4 in one of the games in the first half, and then it ended up, I think that was 2 Viral, and then FM ended up winning that map. So nothing is impossible, but as much as I can talk about previous games and things, it is 1-14.
Yeah, and this is the thing. It's not like they even have those 2 rounds or 3 rounds they had before, where at least if someone takes the pistol, there's a chance they can reset on the anti-eco. It's just, it's looking scary. But Shiki wants to try and immediately snap back into the action, finds that initial frag. Windansky up close and personal, one shot will pop the head of Shaney. Weber comes in one towards JT as well. Windansky keeps it up as he doubles it on nothing as he takes down Pickles, and it falls onto Brody and Shiki.
Well, 3 CTs remaining. You rightly say Brody and Shiki going to be the ones trying to make this round happen for Team Xenex, but Keita does end up going down in the end. Weber is going to answer for it though. Shiki kind of had to stay in that one position for a very long time to finish off that kill, but here we go. Brody with the Glock up against Weber on 1 and Sliggy on 34. He might be able to make this happen, but look at the positioning from the CTs. They're coming from the side that he's probably not expecting. He's looking down long, but he needs to be looking at short. The taps are coming out from either side, and Weber will connect one with the cranium of Brody. And that means that it is going to be Fish123 taking this pistol and heading on to match point very early on into this one.
Yeah, I'd imagine this is probably over at this point, as it's going to be crazy. I mean, Xenex, they're going to have to mount a ridiculous comeback to be able to pick up this round, investing everything they've got in terms of utility and as well. Going quite heavy on the SMGs. 2 of those going to be those UMPs coming out on Brody and Shiki. A Scout and Shaney. Scouts are always cool to watch, especially on a map like Dust 2. They're very viable, can be used very, very well on this map, especially in the hands of Shaney, who's someone who is quite a good AWPer. So you will see a lot of juicy flick shots, I'd imagine, and one of them just going to be on towards Weber as he takes the fight up mid, just sprinting up there immediately.
Well, that's going to be a little breath of life for them, and Pickles chimes in as well with the Desert Eagle, finding a kill for himself. Shiki pushing with the UMP, but everybody has backed away from Fish123. They still do have some weaponry, but they're seriously outnumbered at this stage. Windansky, though, looking to pick some players off. Brody and Shiki down to 4 HP, but Sliggy is a one-man army, or at least he's going to have to be. Takes down Shaney. 3 players to go. But, you know, with these HP bars, maybe it's doable if you can find the right fights.
It's still going to be hard here as he needs to try and just tiptoe his way through. Shiki and Brody, they're going to be the easy men to take down, but JT in that position just playing by Goose is going to be quite hard as well. Trying to clear both things at the same time. Shiki gets the information and they just will throw down as much utility as they had onto him to try and stun him there. Brody jumps around the corner of the UMP and will find the frag.
I love how the second they know where he is, everybody in the team just launches some kind of grenade towards his direction, and in the end, Sliggy does end up going down. And it is going to mean that Xenex, despite losing the pistol there, they hang on by the very skin of their teeth. Now, they need a 13-round win streak here to get back into this game, but overtime is still a very distant possibility, especially when Pickles and JT are shooting like that, taking out players. Pickles finds a second one for himself. Sliggy and Mighty Max here. They've got upgraded pistols, but I don't expect them to pull anything out in this round. Brody only just surviving that fight. Maybe Sliggy going to look to just punish someone, take a head off and ruin the economy here, but looks like he's going to back away in the end, deciding that this isn't a fight he wants to go for. Would rather hold on to that armor that he bought in this round.
Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. Just not worry about spending as much money as the following round. Have that extra little bonus amount. And I mean, that helps as well. Just grab an M4. They've left that nicely from in spawn. He's going to agree to that. Seems ready.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy with that free little pickup there. And that is going to mean that Xenex, they've turned the scoreline into 3-15 now. But can Fish123 even the score with Heinz in terms of first games of the day? Can they live up to the hype? We'll have a look at their economy right now. They should be able to put something together if they really want to, but it's going to be a dicey force, to say the least. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they just maybe upgrade some pistols and kind of just look for a lucky round, to be honest here, because you know, if they can find a couple of headshots early on, pick up a couple of rifles, it's still doable, but certainly not going to be a good situation for them.
No, you don't really want to invest at this point. You see a lot of teams that do that, where you, even though you have so much of a buffer, you just invest into it and keep trying to force into it, and then out of nowhere, Xenex starts to mount a comeback. You just let them take a few rounds, it doesn't matter, you let your economy reset, you have an actual full buy across the board for the rest of Fish123, and then you close out the game. So they are going to go for the smart decision, not rush into anything too headstrong. Sliggy playing with that M4 from ramp, though, will find the opening frag. Windansky with one, the deagle shot off on towards Shiki. Falls into a 3 versus 3 here, and there is a little bit of potential.
It certainly is that high explosive going over towards Windansky, but won't connect onto his target there. Some low health bars on the side of Fish123, but with the Desert Eagle and an AK in the hands of Keita, they can certainly make something happen with this round if they can find their target. Shaney is going to look to punish, though. Stood right up in Goose and will be able to take one kill already, looking for a second, but Weber shuts him down with the P2000. He has been on point with his headshots this game, but I think he has run out of time. He is going to be able to grab at least a weapon for himself as he backs away down long. It's going to be pretty alright, to be honest, with that pickup. He gets himself a rifle, he gets himself a kill, and he gets out alive.
And we'll be able to stay alive for another round. But you can see, finally as well, that little bubble has reset. Fish123 can go for the buy now. They will force up around it and try and see if they can win this round. Obviously, it's going to be hard though. We saw, even when they had the advantage previously on their C2 half, they were bested by Xenex. And Xenex with the AWP play as well, and Shaney, this is where it's going to get a little bit awkward. They didn't have the cash to actually get that out on any of the Fish players, be it Windansky if you want to try and go for a fast pick, or Sliggy or Keita. So they're kind of limited in terms of what they can do for usability. Meanwhile, Shaney, he can just play that slow roll. If they go for an over-aggressive face, he can be the one to shut them down. Aggression towards mid as well. This all rides on Weber here.
Weber has been an absolutely stellar player so far. He's been doing awesome with his one-taps, but does get shut down here. And look at this, Xenex is stepping up to this round. Sliggy is going to find a couple for himself, though, and over towards window, there's going to be peaks, but Shiki is going to find his head. Mighty Max now the last man remaining for Fish123. If he can find just a couple of bullets across towards these terrorist players, he will be able to win the game right now for Fish123, but to be honest, this Fish squad seems to be struggling to actually close out this game. Obviously, Xenex still a long way to go before overtime, but they're looking pretty solid so far. Or at least in this half. They weren't looking very solid last half.
Yeah, it's been alright the past couple of rounds. Let's see how it is going to go though. Max will flash in, uses his utility here to try and create a little bit of a distraction. Very awkward in terms of the setup Xenex have here, so they should be able to best him quite easily. They will do so. JT will nail him down, but Fish, not really anything to play with in terms of economy. Once again, you want to just try and skimp on this, you'd imagine. Just let it go over and then go into the following round. Get a buyout. play it safe like that. And it's good. I like to see Fish. Obviously, I'd imagine this is probably Weber that's telling them to do it like this. He's one of those players that will come in sort of quite hands-on and be like, guys, look, no, just do it like this. Because you do have a lot of teams that will overly invest and then ruin their economy like that and just get battered. So they're not playing into the trap that Xenex are trying to lay for them. They have an awful lot of map control here as well, which is going to restrict Xenex in terms of free flow around the map. But JT does get the opener anyway. Weber going to pop out. Will hammer down with that Deagle, but can't quite connect just yet. But they've got them pincered in here.
Weber getting tagged out by the high explosive there. Only does 35, so it's not the end of the world, but it will mean that he's just that a little bit easier to finish off later on in the round. Pushing into lower tunnel, so maybe we'll see a flank in a little bit, but Sliggy going to be holding the front line right now with Mighty Max on the side, but they do both go down in the end. Keita couldn't get the flank, and it's down to Weber. He got tagged by the grenade earlier, and he's been tagged a little bit more ever since. 25 HP remaining. He's got the Desert Eagle, but can he connect the headshots? He's got 3 to find for himself.
Yeah, if you can try and find these frags here, all you will find though is an 8 that's going to blow him out of the server. Weber goes down. But Fish, once again, will have money. They can also get the AWP out now, and they're going to go for the double AWP setup as well. One of those being on Keita, the other one for Sliggy, respectively. And they have full utility. This is a whole lot better than the buy they had last time around. Everyone is armed to the teeth. They are looking healthy. They seem ready for this round, so let's see how that actually plays out. If they can get those first initial frags and lock it down earlier, if Xenex will still be able to batter their way through. And Brody going to try and go for that face towards long. Will shut down Windansky with the aid of Shiki. JT as well chimes in on Mighty Max. Keita takes out JT. Pickles fires back, and it falls on Sliggy and Weber. Weber going to go for the long face as he rattles down, gets a 2K, almost on for the hat-trick. And here it is, Sliggy, the 1 versus 2. Taps around, will land the tag, but can't quite convert it into the frag just yet. And they have secured that bomb site, just waiting for the peaks to come out. He's going to have to go from the face from short here. Can Sliggy close out the game?
That is going to be the question. He's got the sniper to work with, but is he going to be able to actually connect those shots? Is he going to be able to finish off these players? We haven't seen these Fish123 players stepping up to the mark in this second half, but this could be his opportunity. Brody has found him though and tagged him a little bit. He's looking for the second player, but Shaney is just laying in wait, and like a coiled viper, he strikes. Sliggy goes down, and it is now 7-15. Fish still on that match point, still so close to finishing things off. They're at max loss bonus now. I don't know what else they're waiting for at this point, but Xenex, they're not allowing this one to go without a fight.
Ooh, Shaney, what a juicy shot to kick that one off. Absolutely cheeky stuff as he just obliterates Weber, slaughtering him there as he wanted to cross mid very early on. And Fish, they're just stuck on the deco. They've rolled back the years to source, but unfortunately they can't find the frags. They are all getting picked off. Pickles comes in with a pick on towards Sliggy. Windansky just holding short. Let's have the angle on towards Shiki, and we'll take the shot and punish him. But it's still a 2 versus 4, and I mean, Fish, they don't really have many answers left in this round. If Windansky can save the AK, helps out a little bit, but Xenex, they are having an absolutely stellar T-half right now. Fish, no idea how to counter this unless he T-play.
Well, I mean, there's one way for today to live up to yesterday, and it's that Xenex managed to find themselves the next 8 rounds, and they managed to push this first map into overtime. It's going to be a tall order for them. It's still, even after this little win streak they've had, they've got 6 rounds in a row, they're about to find their 7th. Even after that win streak, it's still going to be a massive challenge to continue to push this forward. But Fish123, you know, at this point, you start to get a little bit rattled. If you've been on game point this long and you can't quite finish things off, it's going to get to your mentality a little bit. The full buy going to come on through almost instantly there for Fish123. And we'll see if there's anything they can do to actually close out this game, or whether Xenex are just going to continue to best them.
Yeah, they need to try and change something up here. I was going to say I wanted to see this. You try and go for that short aggression early, see if you can get that initial pick towards mid and then fall back. It's been these overextends that haven't really helped Fish, where they've been getting picked off far, far too quickly. But if you can gain map control like that, hold on towards short, you get so much more information, you can play off the back of it. Long has been under quite a lot of contention as well from Xenex, where they just try and barrel their way out, push up on towards the site, and Fish just haven't been able to hold it back. This needs to be the round where they stop that. They've got the double up setup back in play, so you're going to be able to complement that range play and see if you can hold them back as they try and tiptoe across. Max here as well. He needs to be the prime time player. A minimum of sort of 2 frags has to come out from Max to really buy him enough time to lock this down if they go for this cross.
Well, here we go. They're all hanging around short from the defensive side, but over towards long. These terrorists are going to push in. Weber finds the first kill and his second one as well. The incendiary will go down towards JT, and this is looking to be a good round here coming through for the side of Fish123. This could be what they needed to finish off the game, but Shaney is not going down without a fight. There is still 3 players and they are alive and kicking. They're looking to keep this round on the go. Sliggy is finally rotating on through, but he gets shut down towards short. Keita finding one with a high explosive grenade, and Shaney suddenly finds himself alone down at the bottom along. He's got an AWP, but is it going to be enough, Jackie?
It's going to be a hard time for Shane to actually find these frags. That bomb is down. He gets the shot off on towards Mighty Max, but he still needs to do more. Goes for the pot shot through the smoke, but the bomb is already being defused. Keita just has to hold it, and there's Weber for the final frag to close it out. That is going to be a 16-8 scoreline. A fairly effective comeback from Xenex, but it won't amount to anything in the end. Fish123 close it down on Dust 2.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, after that first half, that scoreline was a lot closer than I think either of us expected it to be. You know, 14